Welcome back to the SSL Family Dad channel here on the Woodland Homestead with, it's a very hot day. But we've got some work to do today. I want to take you guys along for some things that I've already started working on and some projects that are kind of we're in the middle of. Just kind of show you what's going on. And I ran into some trouble the other day, which is gonna cause me some trouble today. So we're gonna deal with that. I'll show you guys what's been going on, what happened, and then we'll get into taking care of the problem. So we've got the Kubota, the LX 2610 out, and man, has this been, I am not sorry I bought this. This has been a workhorse. It's so great to use. We're gonna be using that today. So I've had a tree company was out the other day, and they were actually over at my neighbor's house. It's on the other side of the pond. There's a driveway that goes up, and there's a house up here in the woods. And I heard some wood chipping going on, and I walked over and said, hey, you guys wanna get rid of that stuff? They said, sure. So they came over and dumped a bunch of a whole walnut tree, a bunch of huge pieces, and a bunch of wood chips. They just dumped it all here for me. And I've been trying to cut this up and deal with this for a few days. We've got some good sized pieces in here. Great firewood. Most of it's already cut up. Some of it I may want to save though. And we've also got all of this wood. This is oak and elm and cottonwood and some of that black walnut, and I've been splitting and filling the trailer and taking it up to the house. So much work. All this needs to be split, and so much work to do. So I was out here working on this pile the other day, and I was trying to get to some of the wood chips. I was moving some of the logs around. Well, one of them rolled off the side of this hill, and there was no stopping it. It's a huge piece of walnut, rolled down the hill, barreled over this little oak tree, and this stump, and a few other things, and just came rolling down this hill, and oh, there's a turtle on top of it, and splashed into the water. So look at that, it's a nice piece. I was going to save that piece, I think, for I've got a guy down the street that might have a sawmill, or I might get one, and I thought it'd be good to save that and maybe make it into some shelves or something. But it doesn't do me any good in the pond, so I have to try to figure out how to get it out of here. I don't want to leave it in the pond, and it's a decent hill. So worst case scenario, my tractor rolls in here. I don't want that to happen. So try to figure out how to get a strap or a chain around it, and see if we can get the tractor down here in a way that's safe, and see if I can pull this thing out. It may not seem like far, but up and down these hills is a lot of work. The house is up there, driveway goes around, garages are on the back side. So I brought down everything I think I'll need. I've got a chainsaw in case I need to cut it or cut some of this other stuff up. I've also got a few other projects I'll show you guys today. And some straps, chain, pitchfork, shovel. Should be everything we need. All right, got a little dicey for a second there, but got it out. Tried to look for a flatter spot on the edge of the pond. That seemed to work. That is one heavy log. It's at least 30 inches, probably 30 inches. So unfortunately, I'm not sure, I'll have to actually measure it. I'm not sure if that will fit into, a lot of the sawmills are up to 28 inches, so a lot of the hobby ones anyway. So it might be too big. I'll put that somewhere special a little bit later. I need to get a lot of this stuff cleared out, and I'll make a skid for it so it can sit up off the ground. But man, this tractor, you know, to think that this little tractor, it's you know, what is it, 25 horsepower, 26 horsepower, this thing lifting that log, and it didn't even struggle, and full wheel drive, you know, pulling that thing out of there, it just doesn't even phase it. So this tractor has been a blessing. But so let's put this thing to work a little bit more today. And I'm gonna get all these smaller logs that I've already cut up and all these pieces I can fit in the bucket. I wanna get these out of the wood chip pile and clear some of this area out, because I wanna take some of these wood chips. We've got a path we're making, a couple paths we're making. And so I wanna start to use these things. The tree company said they'll be back to deliver more. I told them they can just dump it right at the bottom there and I'll bring it up. So hopefully they'll come back. This is a good resource. I'm glad I found another tree company that'll dump us off some wood and chips. So. Well, the end result of all that work is a wood chipped path. So this is down at the bottom of the house. We've got two kind of stairways coming down. Planted all the fruit bushes along here, and eventually those will grow up, as well as all the fruit trees and strawberries and things on that path. And so we've got these kind of stairs that go up to the deck. So this was always just kind of dirt down here. It's so shaded that nothing really grows. I mean, there was some little weeds and some grass and stuff here and there, patches, but but this will be a lot nicer. So we'll keep this wood chip pretty heavy. As that tree company comes back and drops off more wood chips, we'll keep piling them in here, making this a little thicker, and then we can go down a little further into the woods here. And then same with this whole side of the hill up here. We're gonna wood chip all up in here. Got these ferns kind of spreading through here, and got those strawberries all growing in here really well. So you can see them popping up here and there. Strawberries all the way up the hill. So we'll let those kind of spread in here, but we'll use these wood chips to kind of cover over the old red ones. We probably won't be buying too much of those anymore. We'll do the red ones in a few areas. And then this cover here, this grows, and this will kind of probably spread out into this path too. That's totally fine. But we'll load up our tools and head back up the hill, and I'll show you another spot that I've been working on. All right, so heading up to the chicken village, or the petting zoo, is this little area that I've been working at. So we've got this chicken coop that's now turned into a little rabbitry. We've got a rabbit in there, so one of my daughter's pets. And we have one of the resources that we just have an absolute abundance of is rocks. And I'll show you those in just a moment. And so we're going to be making a bunch of paths through here. And we're going to wood chip all this. So I've raked all this out. We're going to wood chip all the paths around here. And these go all out to the goat pen. So we'll be milking Lily here pretty soon. And we've got the milking stanchion right there, so we can get her out and have her on there. We'll wood chip this whole area. We've got a path down here to work on. I've got some discs cut, and we'll bury those in a little bit, and we'll make a path over to the deck, and we'll rock line all that. We're using some rocks to plug up some gaps underneath fencing and stuff, make it level. So we've got paths over here. I built this little compost pile. This is just a bunch of sticks. This is where we've been throwing ashes, leaves, and rabbit and chicken manures, moldy hay, all that kind of stuff. Some kitchen scraps. Most of that gets fed to the chickens, and so that's all piled in here. And so this can actually get lots of air to it. And then this will break down, as long as it was a rotted tree here also that I just knocked down in place. And so just kind of made this little raised deal, and this can be built up a little higher, and we'll keep adding to that. And then next year this will be all of our garden compost. And the path just kind of will continue back here, and we've got a lot more cleanup to do out here, and we'll take the path out to the second gate, which goes to the new pasture that we just built that will house Adam as soon as I have a little shelter out there for him. But if you look on the ground here, this is just nothing but a huge pile of rocks. It goes all the way out into the woods, and it goes all the way out that way. On the other side of our kayaks here, there's a huge pile. This is where they actually dug our propane line through here, the guy told me, and they just they hit all these rocks. It's just filled with rocks in here. And what's been happening is, over the years, this farm field, this property was probably owned by the farmer at one time. And so see all these rocks out here? See all those little white spots? Those are all rocks. Just this field just littered with them. And whenever they run their plow and disc and stuff through there, it moves them up to the surface. And a lot of times they'll have guys come through, a lot of times kids, teenagers, whatever, come through the tractor in a bucket or a wagon. They'll collect rocks and they'll throw them all off to the sides. And that's what's been happening here. So we have this just enormous abundance of all of these rocks through here, all different sizes. All right, well, certainly lots more work to do out here in the little petting zoo area, or our livestock pastures. The future site of a pole barn or some type of barn or larger shed type thing, but that'll be down the road here a little ways. We got lots of work to do, adding paths and cleaning the stuff up around the house. We really want to try to restore this place, and we want to keep adding on sustainable operations here. So the next thing is we need to increase the size of our chicken flock. We have just 6 or 7 chickens right now. 6 chickens right now. That's the size of a little suburban flock. We need to get up a little bigger, and so I need to build a bigger chicken coop. Be working on that soon. So stick around. I know I've been talking about it, and I keep pushing it off. It's going to be a big project, and lumber costs are kind of high, and so I've got some plans to try to make it as cheap as possible out of some things we have around here. People always ask me, where do I get wood chips? A lot of people ask, where do you get free wood chips? We have used wood chips from our suburban homestead to our farm, and certainly out here in the woodland homestead, which is somewhere in between both of those. We use wood chips for just about everything. We use them for paths, we use them in gardening, we use them in our compost piles, we use them just all over the place, and they're a free resource. Most tree companies, if you call a tree company area, look in the Google tree removal services, you can just start calling them, and generally you're going to find one who is looking for a place to dump wood chips and wood. They go, customers will pay them to take down dead trees and other trees. They chip a lot of that stuff up, they grind it up. Some of them have real big grinders. They'll log up those trees, and if the customer pays to have that stuff taken away, they'll take it away, and all they do is they just have to find a place to dump it, because they're not usually in the firewood business or wood business. And so a lot of times they'll dump wood and wood chips, or at least one or the other, whichever you want, if you give them a nice, easy, clear spot to do that. And so we got a great haul from wood chips and from that black walnut. It's going to make great firewood for us. And we got a lot of wood chips out of it that we can move around. And so we'll be making paths and animal bedding and all kinds of stuff with that. But always a resource that we use here, and I would certainly recommend looking. There's also a website called Chip Drop, chipdrop.com, I think, where you can sign up and put your address in there and say, hey, advertise to tree companies, hey, I'm looking for somebody to dump at my house. And then tree companies will go on there and they'll contact you and find a place to dump the wood chips. So lots more to come on the SSL Family Dad channel. If this is your first time here, I'd love to have you subscribe and tag along. We've got, more livestock and chicken coop and homesteading and gardening and all that kind of stuff, sustainable living type things, DIY projects, fixing and repairing things in and outside of the house, and all kinds of stuff like that as well. So if you like that kind of thing, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified when we post new content. Don't forget to hit thumbs up on today's video. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good one.